All right, welcome back to the DepDiv. I'm your host, and I guess I'm the only idiot willing to do a solo show about the age of the universe, probably because all my friends have actual lives. So, if you're new here, here's the deal. We take these huge, kind of depressing science topics and we make them personal. Think of it like therapy, only, cheaper and with way more existential dread. Today's big topic: the universe is old. I mean, really, really old. And I'm not talking my knees hurt when it rains old. No, it's more like your entire species is a rounding error old. So stick around. By the end of this, you're going to feel both a whole lot smarter and completely and utterly pointless. It's my brand. Okay, let's dive right into this cosmic cold case, shall we? Our mission is pretty simple. Figure out when it all started. And like with any good investigation, we gotta start with our prime suspect, the official number for the age of, well, everything. So the official number, the one cosmologists keep throwing around, is 13.8 billion years, right? Not 13.7, not 14, exactly 13.8. It's like physicists just love pretending they have this decimal point confidence about something that happened before decimals even existed. And, people get so mad about this number. You got some folks who want it to be, 6,000 years? Probably because it fits better on a bumper sticker. Well, sorry, the universe, it just doesn't care. Not about your feelings, not about your politics, and definitely not about your favorite host. So how do we even know? Well, it boils down to two things. One, space itself is stretching like a pair of cheap underwear. And two, the entire sky, everywhere you look, glows faintly with leftover heat from the very beginning. That's pretty much it. The universe left us a stretched-out waistband and a lukewarm microwave burrito, and somehow we built entire careers on it. Let's start with that first clue, okay? It really looks like every single galaxy out there is fleeing the scene of the crime. And I don't mean in a cute way. I'm talking we had a huge fight and I'm moving to another state kind of way. See, back in the 1920s, this guy Edwin Hubble looked up and noticed that the light from all these distant galaxies was redder than it was supposed to be. That's called redshift, and it means the wavelength of the light actually got stretched out while it was traveling to us. Why? Because space itself stretched. It's not that the galaxies are speeding through space like cars on a highway. No, space is the highway, and the whole road is getting longer while you're driving on it. And here's the crucial part. You can run that movie backward. I mean, if everything is expanding and moving apart now, then in the past, it must have been way smaller, way denser, and a whole lot hotter. So you just rewind it all the way back, and everything crashes together at a single point about 13.8 billion years ago. And that's the birthday party for reality itself. We call it the Big Bang, which, let's be honest, is a terrible name because nothing actually banged. It was more like everything suddenly decided to exist and then immediately regretted it. Okay, now for the second clue. And this one is my absolute favorite because it's just so dumb and perfect. It's the afterglow. It's the leftover radiation from that very first moment. It's called the cosmic microwave background, or CMB for those of us who like acronyms. See, about 380,000 years after the beginning, the universe finally cooled down just enough for the first light to travel freely. And that first light, it's still traveling today. It's just that it's been stretched so much by expanding space that it's not visible light anymore. It's microwaves. And it is literally everywhere. And get this, the way we found it is just amazing. Back in 1965, you've got these two guys at Bell Labs, Arno Penzias and Robert Wilson, and they can't get rid of this weird hiss in their giant radio antenna. So what do? For months, they're up there cleaning pigeon poop off of it, thinking that's got to be the problem. But nope, it wasn't the pigeons. It was the literal echo of creation. I mean, that is peak humanity right there. We discovered the origin of time itself because we were convinced some birds were sabotaging our phone calls. Years later, the Planck satellite mapped this glow in just insane detail. And its temperature? 2.725 degrees above absolute zero. That's colder than my dating life. And you see this tiny little wrinkles in the temperature? We're talking differences of like 1 part in 100,000. Well, those little spots, those are the seeds of everything that came after. Every galaxy, every star, every planet, and yes, even you complaining about your Wi-Fi connection. So when you put our two big clues together, the rate the universe is expanding, plus this cosmic baby picture, the investigation leads to a really clear verdict. The universe is about 13.797 billion years old, give or take 20 million years. Now let's just try to put that number into perspective because, frankly, our brains are just not built for this kind of scale. Our sun and Earth, they formed about 4.6 billion years ago. That's already a third of the way through the whole story. Dinosaurs showed up around 230 million years ago. And humans, we've been, doodling on cave walls for maybe 300,000 years. All of it, agriculture, cities, taxes, this little explainer, that's all happened in the last 10,000 years. The universe literally spent 13.79 billion years just getting ready, and we showed up at the last possible second to argue about parking and invent oatmilk. And this is how we can double-check our work. It's a kind of cosmic archaeology. We can look at these incredibly ancient objects, like the stars in this dwarf galaxy, Pictory 2. These things are over 10 billion years old. That means they formed long, long before our own sun was even a flicker of a thought. So all of human civilization, those last 10,000 years, that's it. That's 0.00007% of the total timeline. We're not just a rounding error. We're the rounding error of a rounding error. And the universe, it's still expanding. In fact, it's speeding up. There's this thing called dark energy, which is really just a fancy term for we have absolutely no idea, that's pushing everything apart faster and faster. Eventually, other galaxies are going to fly away so fast their light will never reach us again. Future civilizations will look up, see nothing but their own galaxy, and think they're completely alone. And they'll be wrong, because we were here to write it all down. And that's really the cosmic joke, isn't it? We're not the center of the universe. We're not even the punchline. We are the footnote that showed up unbelievably late, figured out how old everything is, and then immediately used that profound knowledge to make memes. So that's it. 13.8 billion years of violent expansion, cooling radiation, exploding stars, and forming planets, all so you could listen to me ramble in your car on the way to buy groceries. A huge thanks to you for spending your incredibly brief, statistically meaningless sliver of conscious time with me